Hi, welcome to the F1 Time Portal, a Formula One history podcast started by two riveting Formula One fans. I'm your host, Rosa.
And I'm your The Boys Are Back in Town host, Luigi. And today we're taking you back to the 1976 season, part 4. So let's go. Boys Are Back in Town.
Boys Are Back in Town.
That's
I know that song.
After the Ferrari one too. That's the Ferrari boys are back in town.
Boys Are Back in Town. I like it. All right, now hang on. Do you have to tell me who sings it though?
Oh yeah, it's Thin Lizzy.
Thin Lizzy. Okay.
They didn't have too many hits. They had a few, but they weren't like, they were big, but they weren't like lots of albums, long
that
super
song
career.
Is big. That song
the song's huge. Yeah. It was played a lot in the 80s when I was growing up, that's for sure.
Yes.
So, race 6.
No.
Monaco Grand Prix, everyone's favourite. It doesn't have the usual dramas that we used to have with the people starting, does it, anymore?
No.
We'll see.
No, it doesn't. No.
So it's at Monte Carlo, the 30th of May, 78 laps, and the weather was warm and mainly sunny.
So this year's Monaco involved 2 minor changes to the circuit, and the intent was to reduce the speeds by about 1 to 2 seconds per lap.
So in terms of the teams and drivers turning up, it was very similar to the last race. However, the Fittipaldi team had made some major changes to their car, given their very poor showing of late, as in the non-qualifying.
Yeah. I know you said he didn't have any regrets, but he must be having regrets now. Like, as you say, McLaren is flying. He left McLaren I reckon he left McLaren to support his family.
No, he wanted to win
with his brother,
his own brother, family, team, pride. He's seeing other people start their own teams not that long ago, like McLaren and Brabham and all that. And this is his attempt, What
have their results been so far, Louis?
Did he doesn't get any. Oh wait, did they get? Oh, they got a point. They got a point. Yeah. Yeah. They got a point up to this point. They got a point up to the US Grand Prix, and then they didn't qualify in the last race. So, bit mixed bag. I'm sure he's looking at that McLaren and thinking, what if? Is all I can say. Yeah.
So, qualifying was initially a surprise, as on the first day, the 2 6-wheel Tyrrells were working really, really well on this track, and they were showing the way, except Lauda turned it on right at the end and ultimately set the fastest time of day 1.
And on the second day of qualifying, the Ferraris put their foot down, and they were the only team to set a time under 1 minute 30, with Lauda not only setting a time of 1 minute 29.65, but with half an hour remaining, he stepped out of the car. He felt he had achieved the best time possible and left it at that. So we've heard this a few times. It's Jackie Stewart did it.
Jackie Stewart did
it at this track as well. I think it was Monaco.
Oh, was it at Monaco?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But the big dogs do it, right?
I was going to say, in your words, Louis, that's a big dog move. Though I think there's probably a bigger big dog move coming later in this season by Lauda. No spoilers.
Okay.
But yes, not only is he sending that message to the entire grid, but also to his teammate.
Yeah. He probably stood next to Ordetto on purpose.
Yeah. Regazzoni did give it a red hot go though, and he was also able to get it under the 1 minute 30 barrier, but only just with 1 minute 29.91. Peterson again rediscovered his old form, and he set a time of 1 minute 30.08.
I'm surprised that Lauda had that confidence, knowing that 1 minute 29.65 was sufficiently superior that Regazzoni got not that far off.
Like not that far.
0.25 off is not huge. So anyway, well, Peterson got close too, and a good move leaving Lotus for March, because he's starting to come back. The old Peterson is coming back a little bit. So Depailler still ended up with the 4th fastest time in that 6-wheeled Tyrrell, followed by Scheckter in the other Tyrrell 6-wheeler, and stuck in the March and the rest. And I think the way the Germans say stuck is stuck, but we're just going to say stuck.
Okay. We
Because we're not going to
apologise to
remember.
all
We're
our
not going to remember.
no, we're not. So our other well, we've written here championship contender, but at the moment he looks nowhere near being a championship contender.
Well, he's on 6 points, remember, to Lauda's 42.
Yeah, 2, exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's a bit of a giveaway there. But Hunt was 14th with his teammate Muss in 12th. So, yeah, that McLaren was having a pretty bad day at the office. And not a great track to be setting those times and being that far down the grid because overtaking was going to be even more difficult. And they had made some modifications as well to make it, even more tricky. So, not a good start for the McLaren team.
Okay. So to the race start, Lauda, as usual, made a storming start. However, Regazzoni's idea of slotting into second was thwarted by a really strong start by Peterson in the March.
Wow, Peterson's loving that March, isn't he? So Lauda was pulling away at about a second a lap from the 4 drivers following helplessly behind him.
Lauda was now in his zone, and as he has been sort of since 74, when the only real reason he wasn't in that championship finale was his Ferrari letting him down. So again, I keep saying it, but Lauda should have won 74. He won 75. And at this point in time, he's absolutely cruising to 76.
Yes. We just got to remember those pinned moments, Louis. Anyway, so Hunt's bad day at the office only got worse as he followed his teammate to pass Jarriere, but soon after spun himself out of any real contention. And then on lap 26, with Lauda's lead out to a comfortable 8 seconds, Hunt's engine blew.
Yeah, wow. So moments later, Lauda and Peterson went through, but Regazzoni found Hunt's oil on the track and slithered up the escape road, which let both Tyrrells by, leaving Regazzoni back down in 5th place when he sort of recovered himself.
What did we say, Louis, about the good drivers and the great drivers?
Yeah, Lauda and Peterson the oil was there.
Yeah, that's it. Regazzoni drove right into it. So the following lap, Peterson was not so lucky as he then spun on Hunt's oil. Oh, too bad, Peterson. You've just gone into the good category, not the great category, which caused the second place driver to crash and retire.
Yeah, poor Peterson on such a good showing. So now we have the Ferrari of Lauda leading with the 6-wheeled Tyrrells in 2nd and 3rd.
That is huge, Louis. The 6-wheelers. What's this, their second race? 3rd? 2nd?
I think it's their second.
This is second race, yeah. All right. Regazzoni, though, was not done. And a wheel problem with Depailler was allowing Regazzoni ever closer until eventually Regazzoni got past the damaged Tyrrell. Oh, damaged Tyrrell. What happened to the damaged Tyrrell? Anyway, we don't know. Something happened to the Tyrrell. It was damaged. And it was
not enough to stop driving, though.
No, that's not enough. And was now fast closing in on Scheckter. So we still have a Ferrari 1-2 now.
Or potential.
Because
there's that Scheckter. Yes. Oh, no, he's closing in on Scheckter.
Closing in, yeah. I don't know. Hopefully he can get him out.
Yeah, so we are 4 laps from the end, which is when Regazzoni cut things too fine. He clipped the guardrail at the swimming pool, spun himself around and badly damaged the Ferrari. Out.
So close. And we could have had a podium spot in the bag, but...
So also at the swimming pool area, with 3 laps to go, there was a battle going on between the Ligier of Lafitte and the McLaren of Mas, with their interaction also involving some wheel touching, which caused Lafitte to retire and allowed Mas to continue on to 5th place. So they do touch sometimes.
They do touch sometimes, Louis.
But these are not the guys at the front. These are the guys the lower points.
The desperate ones in the midfield.
Especially with 3 laps to go and points on the line.
That's right, yeah. So in the end, it was a bit of a boring race, but some desperate drama towards the end. And the final results were Lauda first, Scheckter second, Depailler third. So that's those 2 Tyrrells, isn't it? Scheckter and Depailler, 2nd and 3rd. Stuck in the March on 4th. In 4th, Muss 5th, and Fittipaldi 6th.
How's that for a turnaround from not qualifying to getting and we're mocking him and emphasising his regrets. And he gets, 1 point doesn't cover off not being in a leading team or pole and stuff, but
that's right.
Still, yeah.
Like he qualified 7th in this race, so not too bad, but
well
yeah.
ahead of the McLarens.
Yes, that's true, that's true. So remember the points table is still without the points for Hunt's reinstatement. So we've got Niki Lauda on 51, Regazzoni on 15, and Hunt is still on 6.
Yeah, without that reinstatement.
Yeah, yeah, and Depailler and Scheckter on 14. So that's, I mean, they're in that Tyrrell, so that's pretty good. Tyrrell's actually second on the constructors. They're on 22, behind Ferrari on 54, and third is the McLaren on 12.
Okay. So this next race is a race I've always remembered who won this race.
Okay.
What are you going to say?
I was just going to say, after 6 races, we've got Lauda winning. He's won 4 of them and he's come second in the other 2 races. Like, that's a pretty dominant showing.
Yeah, 51 points. And second place is 15. Points. And maybe one of his threats is Hunt on 6.
Yeah.
It's a comical gap almost.
It is, yes. All right. Yeah. Now we're at Sweden, and you love this race, do you?
Yeah. And I'll come to it. Yeah. So it's race 7 of 16. It's at Anderstorp. It's on the 13th of June, 72 laps, and the weather was overcast and dry. So I've been waiting for this race a really, really long time, and I've always remembered this race.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you'll let us know why. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I look forward to it, Lloyd. I have read some of these notes, but I don't remember what you said. So I'll wait for it at the end. Yeah, so as the F1 grid headed to the Swedish race with Lauda, as we said, enjoying a massive 36-point lead in the team, in the championship over his teammate, there was a general feeling of resignation in the paddock.
I'm not surprised. While these periods of domination are less entertaining, they are special and they show history in the making. And let's not forget, 74 was not long ago where, it was so close that 2 drivers won equal points at the end of the season and 3 drivers could have won that championship in that last race. And let's not forget, this is Ferrari. So I guess, Rosa, this is your opportunity to embrace this.
No, I'm embracing it.
Don't talk about it in a bad way, like it's boring or not. It's just because the other teams are demoralised is a good thing for you.
It is. I'm happy about it. I don't know. It's been a long time since Ferrari dominated like this. So yes.
So as practice started, it was clear that the Ferrari was having some handling issues at this track. But despite this, they were still right up there, along with the 2 Tyrrells and Andretti, who was having a great time of it in the brand new Lotus 77.
All right, so this is where we've got a classic Mike Lang story here, which I'll just quickly recap. So while in practice, Scheckter was driving his Tyrrell, and at one of the corners, one of the front wheels literally shed one of its tyres totally off. The car, however, remained completely stable, and Scheckter was surprised when on the next corner he looked down and was surprised to see one of his tyres literally missing. As a result, he went into the pits, and instead of mentioning a missing wheel, he simply told his pit crew that he was having an understeer problem. It took a whole minute for the crew to identify that one of the tyres was missing. And in the words of Mike Lang, everyone had a jolly good laugh.
That is so classic British humour of 76, isn't it?
And they probably weren't used to looking at like 4 front tyres. They just probably checked 2.
Yeah, I think it is funny. It's a funny story that, they can still joke around even in the heat of these pressure moments and all that. So when it came to the final practice session to set the grid, initially the Tyrrells were ominous, with Scheckter and Tyrrell looking like they had secured an all-Tyrrell front row, until a very impressive performance by Andretti in the Lotus and Eamon in the Ensign really shook things up and slotted into 2nd and 3rd place to relegate Depailler and the other Tyrrell down to 4th.
That is impressive, very impressive. Yeah. So to the Ferraris and Hunt, they were having a tough time of it. Lauda qualified 5th, Regazzoni 11th, once again owning him massively, and Hunt 8th.
Yeah. So to the race start, in the words of Mike Lang, Andretti took off like a jackrabbit to lead the pack. Scheckter was somewhat taken aback by Andretti's race start, but still moved into 2nd place, while Depailler was in 3rd and Eamon in 4th. And that is when the news was revealed. Andretti was being penalised for 1 minute for jumping the start. This means that Andretti is now essentially in last place. It's only lap 1, and he has 70 laps to try and recover the situation.
Well, he did it. He did. He was already 3 seconds clear after 1 lap, and as the race progressed, Andretti was continuing to extend his lead while the 2 Tyrrells were holding their positions. Eamon was next and Lauda was in 5th on the track, clearly struggling with oversteer.
So at the halfway mark, the race was very processional at this stage. We're already at the halfway mark, right?
Yeah,
with a range of midfield and back-end drivers retiring, which we don't really cover the details of unless they're material players in the championship.
It was about now that Eamon, in an attempt to push past Depailler, had a technical issue with his ensign, which caused him to lose control. He went through 2 layers of catch fencing. Jeepers, he must have been going fast. And was lucky to emerge unscathed, if not a bit shaken.
He's having another bad run, isn't he?
Every time. We did call him the honorary Moss, Sterling.
Yeah, and he's living it up even when he's starting to show form.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. At the front, Andretti, I shouldn't really say lead. But
no. Well, yeah, it is currently on the track. It was a lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andretti's track position had leveled out at 10 seconds in front, but it was getting smaller as his engine was losing power. And within a few laps, Scheckter had closed to within 5 seconds.
In the meantime, back in the pits, Ken Tyrrell was seeking clarification if Andretti's penalty was official or not. I guess that's understandable. Why Ken Tyrrell cared, I don't know, but anyway.
Well, he's a Tyrrell manager. His driver's in 2nd position and 3rd position.
Oh, I guess. He
cares a lot, I think.
All right. That's a good point, Louis. I forgot that Scheckter was in the Tyrrell. I guess he doesn't want his driver to risk a move on him if it's not necessary.
That makes
sit comfortably in 2nd and just wait for the minute to take. But what does he mean official? The penalty was official or not? That's weird. Was there unofficial penalties?
I guess in those days, it's like, it's just talk. Oh, we changed our mind afterwards.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of like that 1.8 centimeter McLaren thing.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So it all turned out to be an unnecessary concern for Ken Tyrrell, though, because on lap 46, the Lotus engine blew of Andretti and he was out. So this left us with a Tyrrell 1-2 and they controlled the race as Scheckter cruised to a 20-second win over his teammate Depailler.
Get out. They won and became a 1-2.
A 1-2
so Lauda,
with that 6-wheeler.
The 6-wheeler. Lauda finished 3rd on his own and Lafitte in the Ligier a very impressive 4th place. So the only drama was near the very end when Regazzoni passed Pache on lap 55 and then started closing it on Peterson. Which in turn pushed the pair of them to close right in on Hunt, who was in 5th place. But they didn't overtake him, but they got right up to him.
Yeah. Hunt managed to stave them off and secured 5th place, while Peterson succumbed to Regazzoni's attack, enabling the Ferrari driver to take the final point of the day.
Yeah, good on him. So the final results were Scheckter 1st, Depailler 2nd, Lauda 3rd, Lafitte 4th, Hunt 5th, and Regazzoni 6th. So why did you like this race so much, Louis? It was quite a boring race, actually.
It was actually, yeah. Because it was the first win of the 6-wheeled Tyrrell. And I love that innovation. It's such a cool idea and I can't believe it actually worked. And I think it's the 3rd or 4th race, And I also felt that the car was blue and yellow. It was blue with yellow numbering. And it's like that blue and yellow car, it matches the Swedish flag, which is blue and yellow. So it looked like, and it also reminded me of IKEA, funnily enough. So it felt like Sweden was winning the Swedish Grand Prix. And I like the visuals of that. So I'm sure the Swedish fans probably loved it because it was like their flag car.
Yes, their flag
finishing
car.
1-2. How cool would that have been? So I thought that was pretty awesome to have blue and yellow, primarily blue, Tyrrell win the race. And that innovation coming off was awesome.
That's a very teenage Luigi memory, I think.
Yeah.
So to the points, and still without Hunt's reinstatement win from Spain, we have Lauda on 55, Scheckter on 23, Depailler on 20, and Regazzoni on 16, and Hunt still on 6,
Yeah.
isn't he?
Did he retire? I didn't get any points.
Oh, did
No,
he?
he got points. He got 2
He
points.
got points. He
He'll
got
be on
2 points.
8.
He's on 8.
Yeah.
Ferrari's on 58 on the constructors' side. Tyrrell's on 31. Pretty good for them. And McLaren on 15. Ligier's on 10. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad for the new team. Yeah. Okay. So we're up to the 8th race of the season, the French Grand Prix. It's only the halfway mark of the season.
I
Taking
know.
ages to get through because there's a lot to talk about this year.
There is,
It's at
yes.
Paul Ricard. It's 4th of July, 54 laps, and the weather was hot. So as there had been 3 weeks since the last race in Sweden, many teams turned up with detailed modifications to their cars.
Yep. So this included the McLaren team, who reverted back to their Jarama setup because they haven't been doing too well lately, have they? And changed their aero layout, increasing the airflow to their rear wing. And even Ferrari during practice trialled an air duct connected to their brakes. But this was quickly banned and deemed a movable aerodynamic element. Remember a few years ago, the aerodynamic elements weren't allowed to move or be attached to the wheels. So, yeah, that ban is still in place, it seemed. But good on
Been
Ferrari.
around for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so things are changing in Ferrari world. Even when they're dominating, they're still innovating their car.
Well,
So,
even
yeah.
aero, Luigi, like Enzo must be like finally admitting that aero's got a place.
Yeah, I think he's less involved in the day-to-day of the team.
Oh, that's
Like he's already
true.
started because he
Yes.
stopped going to the races and things like that.
Okay,
And so,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it's good to hear this with Ferrari pushing the boundary a little bit there. So there were 30 drivers attending this race for the 26 available positions to start. And while many drivers had participated in a pre-race test session the week prior, the majority were desperately setting their cars up for the race.
Yeah, so last year, Jarriere in the shadow was right up with the front runners. This year, in essentially exactly the same car, they didn't change their car from last year. They were very much in the midfield. So it goes to show how much F1 evolves, and you can't just keep using the same car. You got to progress. You got to develop.
Yeah, big change, isn't it? Because I remember that was a purple patch for Jarriere and Shadow and all that. So to qualifying, it was ultimately Hunt that set a blistering time of 1 minute 47.89, and he was the only driver to lap below 1 minute 48. Lauda was next up, followed by Depailler and Regazzoni. This was after the Ferrari early session times were excluded due to their air ducts on their brakes.
Well, Ferrari at 2 and 4, not bad. Early qualifying pace setter Pace in the Brabham Alpha was 5th, and then the rest. So this year, pole position was on the right-hand side, unlike last year. So it was Lauda on the left-hand side, where he started on pole in 75.
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
It is weird.
And from there, Lauda made a very strong start to take the lead at the beginning, even though Hunt himself made a good start. Regazzoni outpaced Depailler, so it was Hunt who was a meat in a Ferrari sandwich suddenly.
Depailler held on to 4th and was ahead of Peterson, Watson, Scheckter, Lafitte, and then the 2 Brabhams of Pace and Reutemann. We haven't heard about the 2 Brabhams much, have we?
No, they've just sort of turned up, haven't they?
Yeah, finally
so for the first
that engine.
Yeah, the overweight engine.
Yes.
For the first 7 laps, Lauda was pulling away at about a second per lap, leaving behind a mist of water from his header tank.
Oh no. Well, it's a hot day, so it's not rain. So what's in a header tank? What is a header tank?
Yeah, I Googled it, and it's a reservoir that holds water at a higher level than the main tank, thus ensuring gravity to feed the water down. So while I Googled it, it wasn't deemed an F1 inquiry. It was treated as a hot water system inquiry. But I think the answer applies equally here in 1976 F1.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, I'm a bit concerned because I'm guessing F1 cars need water. And if he's leaving a mist of water behind him, the water's disappearing out of that car. So that's not a good sign, I don't think, for Lauda. But anyway, so Lauda is pulling away at ease. Regazzoni was right on Hunt's tail.
Then on lap 9, Lauda's engine suddenly seized. So there you go. And it was considered by Mike Lang that it was only for Lauda's lightning reflexes that prevented the Ferrari from veering off the track.
Yeah, probably also to protect the crowd as well, Louis, in those days. Yeah, that is scary to happen in an F1 car. He had this race in the bag. I mean, I know we're only on lap 9 of 54, but he was pulling away with ease at this point.
Yeah,
so,
like he'd been doing all year pretty much. So Lauda watched on as now he saw Hunt staving off Regazzoni for the lead of the race. There were a series of retirements from some of the midfielders, but on lap 18, with the Ferrari fans still bemoaning the retirement of Lauda, they were in for another disappointment as Regazzoni's engine suddenly seized in exactly the same way as Lauda's.
Ferrari, what? You've been so reliable, and now this. Unfortunately for Regazzoni, his seizure happened on a corner and he went flying through the catch fencing, luckily uninjured. He was quite upset though, as he was still on Hunt's tail. He really felt that he had a good chance to take the race.
Take the race as in when Lauda was already gone?
Yeah.
Not, I mean, take the race.
Because Lauda was out and then he could have got past Hunt. He would have won it.
Yeah, I know.
I think he thought he could have won it.
Yeah, I know that's what he meant, but I mean, Lauda went out for the same reason, so it's like Lauda would have been there if he got past Hunt, if in theory. Yes. You get what I mean? Both cars went out for the same thing. So I think so too. So he clearly had more pace in hand. Poor Regazzoni. We're left with Hunt enjoying a 6-second lead ahead of Depailler in the Tyrrell, and at the 30-lap mark, Hunt's lead had grown to over 10 seconds ahead of a lonely Depailler, and I think lonely was a Mike Lang word maybe.
Yeah, it definitely was. So while this was looking like a pretty boring race, the battle for third place, which had raged since lap 18, was continuing, with Scheckter in third, and right with him was Watson, who had overtaken Peterson and was then quickly repassed again.
Okay. Then pace closed right up, making this a very tight quartet, fighting for the last podium position. So a little bit of excitement there. So on that 35...
Oh, yeah, you go.
Yeah. I think pace managed to get ahead of Watson as they braked for the right-hander at the end of the long straight. Their positions were reversed again. And it was at this point that Peterson finally got past Scheckter for third. Schecter's engine was starting to lose power.
Oh, no. Poor Scheckter. Even 6 wheels couldn't help. He was holding back a gaggle of cars for quite some time. So Peterson started pulling away in third. But Scheckter, even with his power problems, was not giving in. He thwarted every challenge for fourth place until on lap 49 at a 54, his misfiring engine couldn't hold on any longer.
So Watson and Pace went past, and while Peterson was further up the road by now, it was soon that Watson and Pace were fighting for third because Peterson's engine had a fault. So while Peterson retired, Scheckter would struggle on to the end of the race and claim 6th place. Bit of drama there for the South African.
Yes. I don't know. Peterson's now becoming the new Moss and Eamon. He's having a lot of bad luck. So back at the front, Hunt cruised to win by 12.7 seconds ahead of Depailler, and Watson held off Pache by 1.2 seconds to claim third position. Andretti was 5th and Scheckter 6th.
And again, there was a car width issue. Watson's Penske was deemed illegal due to the width matter, and the issue went to the courts, and his third place was ultimately reinstated.
Again, what is the point of this rule, Luigi? If everyone
keeps
just
getting broken. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the points table, again, we still haven't got that Spain result. So Lauda is on 55, Depailler is on 26, Scheckter is on 24, and Hunt is on 17. And on the constructor side, we've got Ferrari on 58, Tyrrell on 37, and McLaren on 23. All right, well, we'll leave it there, I think, and come back for race 9, the British Grand Prix.
Yes, we're all waiting for that one. Okay, Cool.
Okay.
See you next time. Bye.